Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of In the Spotlight. I'm Mike Kenichi, and dreams really do come true, folks. And the reason I say that is we have two guests tonight who, from the time they entered their freshman year at Ansonia High School, they had many goals, but I bet the two of them never thought that they would score 1,000 points in their career. They did it both their senior year. They got to enjoy that moment together. Just two outstanding individuals. And it is my honor to introduce to you the members of the Ansonia Girls basketball team and 1,000-point scorers, as well as the MVL champs, Jennifer Palmer and Weston Ahearn. And girls, I want to thank you for coming on today. It's a real honor for me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, interestingly enough, girls, while your basketball resume is outstanding, I think some people may not realize you've both played multiple sports and you've excelled at those. Both of you were all league for soccer. And Jen, if I'm not mistaken, you made all MVL 4 years in a row at soccer, correct?
Yes.
Right. And Weston, you were an outstanding goalie there. You made all league for Ansonia. So just talk about soccer first. And, I would think there's a lot of benefits to playing it. Number one, though, it gets you ready for basketball because you're running, nonstop all the time. You're never stopping. It's a running sport and you have to be in great shape. So I think that's the benefit. But just with everything, your footwork, so many things go into it. And, is you both are great basketball players, but I think sometimes your soccer gets kind of, a little underrated because you're both very good in that. So just talk about soccer a little bit.
You want to go first?
Sure. Soccer really started off being my main sport, so I put a lot into it. But like you said, I think it does really help me get ready for basketball. I mean, I work my hardest in both, and also being together, like playing sports together our whole life together helps us grow mentally.
Right. And Weston, let me ask you, listen, toughest thing in the world is to play goalie, whether it's in hockey, soccer, you name it. It's a fast-paced sport, so you always got to be ready all the time. Let me ask you, did you ever do goalie training as a kid? How did you start being a goalie in soccer?
Well, we probably were 12 years old and our team needed a goalie, so I wasn't really that great on the field. So I said I'll hop in goal because I'm better using my hands than my feet. And then as I grew, I played for a few years in biddy ball, and then I trained off season as I got into high school.
Right. And like I said earlier, it's a sport that moves nonstop. How would you say the love really began with soccer, though? Listen, every kid, I feel like when they first play a sport, they play t-ball, they play soccer, but you try different things throughout your sports career, but you both stuck with it. So, what was the love for soccer that, you enjoyed playing it so much?
I definitely think I started playing because all my friends were playing, and that's a reason why I stuck with it. My older sister always played, and then my younger sister played, so I was always sticking with it. But as I got older, I definitely fell more in love with basketball, but I realized that soccer still benefits me in all my other sports too, so that's why I continued to play.
Right. And Jen, let me ask you this. Did you play in any travel leagues for soccer as a young kid? That's one of the things. Soccer's a year-round sport for a lot of kids as well. But I think it's great that you both have done different sports. You've also both played softball, which we'll get into. But did you play any travel leagues as a young kid?
Not as a young kid, but I did my sophomore year join a Jenga soccer team, which was travel. It did help a lot. I only did it for 1 year though.
Right. So now let's talk about basketball a little bit. And Weston, I'll start with you. Where did that love begin? Because listen, basketball, like I said, you start playing that at a young age. You could be playing it as early as 5 years old. Where did that love begin for you?
I think it grew around more of my middle school years. I've always played it. Jennifer and I actually always played together. We played all the way from probably fourth grade to now. So I think it grew as I was younger. And then as I continued to get better and I started enjoying it more, I realized that this was one of my true passions to keep going. So at probably around fifth grade, I would say.
Right. And let me ask you, Weston, in the beginning, I mean, like anything else, it gets challenging. I mean, the game gets harder as you get older. How did you really like? Where was there a part of you that said, "I want to keep doing this. I love it"? I mean, I'm sure you had a basketball hoop in your backyard, correct?
I actually didn't. I didn't get one until I moved. So my dad was my coach at a young age, which I think really helped. And I also got to play a lot with my friends like Jen and my sisters. So it was always fun for me to play with everybody. So I think when I personally started really enjoying it and getting better at it was when I got older and I got to play with my older sister. And that's when I realized, like, oh, maybe since I'm playing with older kids, if I get better to be on their level, I'll start having more fun. So that's where the hard work came in.
Right. And I think, Weston, you kind of touched on this with your dad, your sister, but I think a lot of times when any kid plays a sport, I mean, they see their siblings play or
Yeah.
they know their parents played, and that, there's always that, um, ambition to try to be as good as them and to do well. And you see that all the time. So, I mean, having family members play, I'm sure inspired you a lot to go out there.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Right. So, Jen, tell me, how did the love for basketball begin for you?
It started when my brother would play, because at our middle school, well, like our school from Assumption, we only were able to start in fourth grade. And I wanted to start earlier, but there was not really any teams out. So I would go to my brother's practices, and his coach actually would let me practice with him. So that's when I started like enjoying it more and just like growing into it.
Right. And let me ask you, did either one of you, I mean, were you fans of college women's basketball or the WNBA? Because like anything else, there's always an athlete that we all look up to, and it could be several of them. Did you both find yourself watching a lot of women's and WNBA basketball?
Yeah. I think like every young girl in Connecticut, UConn was our favorite. We would follow them, talk about them all the time. Jen, you love Paige Beckers for a while, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, that,
So yeah,
listen,
we definitely followed that growing up.
right. And the thing is, too, when you're watching them on TV, I mean, as a young kid, you're still learning, but you do pick up things when you're watching great players
Definitely.
like that play and see the style of basketball. And as I watch you girls play over the last few years, I mean, the way Coach Delavope, he runs an offense, a defense. I mean, really, a lot of it is similar to a lot of things you see in the women college sports. So I think that's important as well because, I mean, it teaches you all aspects of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So now, correct me if I'm wrong, girls, but you girls have been playing together since Assumption School. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you, did you two know each other before Assumption? Were you friends before that, or did the friendship really develop when you started playing at Assumption School?
I think our friendship developed in second grade when Jen came to Assumption. And then obviously it grew once we started spending every day together and playing on the same team.
Right. And Jen, let me ask you this. Like anything else, when you play sports like this, whether it's soccer, basketball, or softball, you develop great friendships. I mean, it's just common that it's going to happen. And I mean, I would say that's probably one of the most rewarding things about being on teams like this is you've made some lasting friendships that you know will last forever.
Yeah.
Right. So, girls, let me ask you, talk to me a little bit about your years at Assumption. I mean, who did you girls play for early on at Assumption, and how many years would you say you played together there?
Since fourth grade, so
Yeah.
4 years. We started off with my mom did instructional basketball with us on the weekends. And then my dad and my mom and one of our good friends' dads started coaching us fourth grade till eighth grade.
We
Right.
also played for an Ansonia Derby basketball like league. So that's like where it's like the same girls from Assumption and then some Derby girls. So we grew a bond like from there too.
Yeah.
Right. And girls, I'm glad you brought that up because both Derby and Ansonia basketball, I've seen, with the girls is they really root each other on. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you girls paid a lot of attention to the Derby girls basketball this year. I know you paid a lot of attention to Shay Gray, who has always admired both of you and your play and things like that. And I think it's really cool that the three of you got to score your 1,000th point in the same season together, because
Yeah.
you girls were friends off the court, not just on the court.
We also played with her during Ansonia Derby, so she was a longtime teammate. So that was really exciting to see her do too.
Right. And girls, let me ask you this. This is always something I think is important, is you're going to play with girls probably that, like yourselves, you play together in high school, you played at Assumption, but you'll play with girls that you'll eventually compete against. And I think it's important when you play with them and against them, because it brings out the best in all of you, and it really makes you better basketball players. So just talk about that a little bit.
Well, friendly competition is always something we like. So even just playing against Shay, we know she's a really good player. We know what she's capable of. So just being able to guard her one-on-one, or any other girl that we've played Ansonia Derby with, that's like a really cool feeling, knowing that you once played together and now you can compete with each other, and it's all friendly competition. So there's never any bad blood on who wins or who doesn't.
Right. So let's talk about high school a little bit. Now, Jen, let me ask you, as you began freshman year at Ansonia High School, and again, you're playing soccer, so right off the bat, when you entered a high school, you've got soccer, and Weston, you too. But I know that, like, basketball, if I'm, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but I would say that's always been your number one sport for both of you that you love the most. So what were your goals going into freshman year?
Going into freshman year, like playing with girls like Weston's sister, which was older than us, we played with somewhat at Assumption. I feel like it was really like we had like to work a lot, and starting freshman year for both of us, I feel like was really like a accomplishment.
Right. And Weston, Jen just talked about it, playing with your sister. I mean, right there, you get to see a lot of the moments that she's having, because she's been a veteran and now you're on that team for the first time. So I'm sure as you're seeing her have these wonderful moments, not only are you proud for her, but it also gives you a goal to set for yourself, because you want to be able to do the similar things like that. So just talk about being able to play with your sister and how enjoyable that was.
Yeah, it was definitely so enjoyable. It gives you a lot of motivation, especially that she's older and she's more advanced in her skills. So freshman year coming in, I almost had a chip on my shoulder, knowing I really wanted to play with her. And even Jen and I, we talked about it all the time. As long as we could hang with the girls and we could provide our role and what we need to do for them, we're going to hang with them. So it was really cool to step in there and play with her freshman year. And then now I get to play with my younger sister. So I almost felt both roles, one playing with my older and then being the role model for my younger now.
Right. And I think that's something, girls, that, you can't put a price tag on. That's something that is so invaluable and something that will carry you forever. Because, I mean, like anything else, when you get to play with a sibling, it's just a special moment. I mean, especially like Weston, say your sister makes a pass to you and you score, you do the same. I mean, it's something you always have, like, those memories together.
Yeah.
And even if they're only short memories, they're still memories. So it's something that nobody could ever take away from you either.
Definitely. Yes.
Right. So let me both ask you, did you both know Coach Del Volpe prior to playing for Ansonia High School? I mean, I feel like Coach Vince, he's very loyal, and I'm sure he went to many Assumption games, as many as he could. The seasons kind of were at the same time, so it's hard. But I feel like he's always been loyal, and he's always cared about the feeder program, girls, and that's important more than anything else, because if you're going to have a good basketball program, it really starts with the feeder programs, building these kids up to when they get to high school that they're ready to play for that next level. So did you both know Coach Del Volpe before you entered Ansonia High?
I didn't know of him, but then they would come to our Assumption games, or we would get to play at halftime at the high school games. So that's when I got to know him.
Right. And Weston, let me ask you, how important do you think the feeder programs are, though? Because like anything else, I mean, you want kids to come out for these teams, because you never want your numbers to go down. You want them to always go up, because the new group of kids are going to come in when you two graduate. now there's going to be a new group of freshmen entering, and you always want the program to continue to be successful. So talk about the importance of the feeder programs.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the most important things is just gearing girls up to come play, especially because now a lot of private schools, some people weigh that in as their option. So making sure we have a big pool of girls to pick from is really important. And that's why I'm so happy that the middle school, they just recently in the past 2 years got a basketball team. And obviously Assumption's been having their basketball team. So it's nice to know that there's options for these girls now to develop their skills before coming to high school and that their freshman year isn't their first time playing.
Right. So Jen, let me ask you, what are some of the highlights of your first 2 years at Ansonia High School? If you had to pick a couple that really stand out to you, what would you say were some of the highlights your freshman and sophomore year?
Probably getting to like start and play with the girls. It was pretty like it was a goal, I would say.
Right, definitely. And Weston, let me ask you, I mean, for somebody, again, you had an older sister. She was a very good player for Ansonia. What were some of your highlights as a freshman or sophomore? Because early on, you want to establish yourself. You want to show that you could be on the court and be out there. So what were some of the highlights for you the first couple years?
Honestly, a big highlight was being able to play 3 sports and like exceed the best of my ability in all of them. And then obviously playing with my sister, but building bonds those first 2 years was very important to me too, because those are the girls you'll spend the rest of your high school career with. So just setting a foundation for all of our sports those first 2 years was really exciting.
Right. And girls, one of the things I think is important too is when you're having like rough games and there's a game where you get beat and you don't feel like you played up to the standards you wanted to, that you could kind of lean on one another. And when things are tough, like if Jen had a bad game and Weston, you had an okay game, you could kind of, pat her on the back and say, don't worry about it. You'll get it the next game. And the same thing, if you were having a rough game, Weston, you have somebody like Jen and you had like your sister, other teammates. So I think it's important that when the chips are down, everybody's there for one another. And I really believe that's why you girls have been so successful throughout your high school careers.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Let me ask you this, girls. One of your coaches the last couple of years, and she didn't coach this year, but she's been very impactful to both of you, is Coach Missy Cook. And Missy was an outstanding basketball player as well. I mean, she will never tell anybody that, but I mean, I'll tell everybody for her. I mean, she was outstanding. But just talk about the impact she had on both of you, because one of the things that she was great with is, I just mentioned, when things were tough, she was the type of person that could really settle you both down when, you might not have been performing to the level you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So whoever wants to
You
answer.
You want to go?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, she was always there for us. She was hard on us to make sure we would get to where we need to be, but she definitely was always there for us and would keep us up if we were down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And Weston, one of Coach Cook's biggest things that she stressed in practice, in games, was foul shots. She always felt like that you can never work enough on that you always had to. And I think of the Holy Cross game, which I'm going to talk about. You girls won that game by a point. And think about it. If you didn't make your foul shots that night, you don't win that game. So that was something she always stressed a lot. And she always kind of drilled into everybody that you have to continue to work on your foul shots. So just how important was she to the program and to you in general?
Well, one specific thing about foul shots that she used to make us do is we would get to shoot 20 and then you keep your percentage and we would have to run sprints off our percent. So that definitely got us into more shape and got us more mentally tough. But she definitely was one of the most positive people on the bench. She's always very direct with what she has to say. She wants you to do your best. So, and also I think it's very important. We had a female coach on our coaching staff. So she was also there for off the court needs. And she was just somebody you could talk to during the season. So that was very helpful.
Right. Now, Weston, I'll start with you because you made all NVL first team as a sophomore, which is a remarkable achievement because it's very hard to do that. Talk to me about what that feeling was like when Coach Del Volpe shared the news with you that you had made first team?
Honestly, I was just shocked. I was very happy. But again, none of that would not have come from anything without my teammates. So knowing the people who gave me the extra pass, the people who set up some plays to get me more shots, and just overall just hustle and stuff like that, the little things really poured into that. So that definitely felt relieving for me to finally have some hard work pay off.
Right. And Jen, I mentioned this. You had made all MVL in soccer, but junior year you make all MVL in basketball, the first team. What was that feeling like when Coach Delavolpe shared the news with you?
I was shocked because I honestly didn't expect to get all NBL. I mean, it was just really nice of getting it.
Right. Girls, another coach on your staff, and he's a good friend of mine. And I'm sure you got stories because when I played for him, I had many stories, and he's a great guy, and that's Coach Ronnie Leno. But just talk about how important he's been to the program, because not only he could be a tough coach because coaches have to be, but at the same time, he could loosen everything up. I mean, he can make you laugh with just something funny he'll say. I mean, he knows how to lighten the mood. So just talk about having Coach Leno on the staff. How important has that been?
He's the best. We'll have the hardest practice, and we'll be ready to break down the huddle and end our day. And he'll just come with a random story, a random funny story, or he'll just say things to us. He's always very serious in the times he needs to be, and he definitely prepares us and tells us what we're doing wrong. But at the same time, he's just great to have around, and him and Vince work so well together. So it's a benefit for us.
Right. And Jen, I think it's important when you have three different types of coaches. You have Coach Delavolpe. He has to make sure everything's organized. He has to really keep everybody focused, and he has to make sure that nobody's goofing around, or, they have to do what they're supposed to do. But then you could have somebody like Coach Cook who will, encourage you to challenge yourself to do this or to do that. And then you have Coach Leno who will do the same. But you also have somebody like him and Coach Cook who can lighten the mood, because Coach Delavolpe really can't during the games. He's got to kind of, make sure that he's watching every single thing. So when things are tough, you have those other coaches as well that you could lean on. So it's good to have a good balance like that. And I really think that's why the program's been successful with these last several years.
Yeah, I think it's really good that we have three different coaches, because if one's, like you said, like Coach Vince has to make sure everything's going well, then we'll have Coach Leno who could crack a joke but make sure we're still doing what we need to do to keep the mood up and everything.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about softball, girls, because it's amazing to me that you both have played three sports. Jen, I think you stopped playing after sophomore year, but you both played three sports for 2 years or more. And again, I've always felt that a kid should try to play other sports, that if you focus too much on one, that kind of burns you out a little bit. So it's good to have a good mix. But just talk about the softball program a little bit, and how has that been for you both?
Softball's been good. It's definitely not our main sport, but it is good to be well-rounded. So to have another season and just be able to continue our athletics all year round is definitely helpful for our other sports, I would say.
Right. And, the thing is too, Weston, nowadays it's not easy to play softball because, as you know, somebody who's played it the last few years, the weather never cooperates. It doesn't get warm till almost June. So you have to play cold games for almost 2 months. That's not easy to do either.
No, yeah. And also coming off of basketball, you're indoor. You kind of get that nice heater sometimes. But right when you're outside, you have no choice. You got to put a hoodie on and just play.
Right. So, Weston, I'm going to start with you first. You're entering this final season. I don't think you're somebody that pays attention to stats, but you know that you're close to 1,000 points. You got people telling you things like that. Did you go into the season at all nervous? That obviously we all knew you were going to do it, but I'm sure there was a part of you that was nervous and said to yourself, God, I hope I do this, because it's not an easy feat to do. So just talk about how you went into that season approaching that.
At the end of our year, our last meeting, Coach Vince told me how many points I needed. And then I kind of forgot about it a little bit. And then going into the season, I got reminded, like, oh, you're this many points away. And it definitely was a little nerve wracking. I was 100 and something points away. So that was definitely doable. But at the same time, I was scared. I didn't know how the season was going to play out. So I honestly tried not to think about it most games until I got to that 20-point mark. And from there, I was just hoping I'll get it. And that's when I finally started to realize that I would get it. And it definitely was an exciting goal to hit. It was a personal goal for a while. So being able to actually do it was very rewarding.
Right. And just talk about what the moment was like. You get to share that with your family, with your teammates, with your coaches, and some former alumni came to also be there for you that night. So just talk about what that experience was like.
It was so much fun. The whole night was good. I ended up fouling out that game, but the night was fun. Being able to hit it at home, having a lot of people from the community come, a lot of my family was able to be there, and seeing all the girls, or most of the girls who hit 1,000 before me, was definitely a special surprise. I didn't know that was going to happen, but just knowing that those are people who did feel this feeling once too was definitely cool to see them all together.
Right. And you could be honest, Weston. I mean, did you have trouble sleeping that night? I mean, you do something so special like that. I'm sure like your adrenaline just can't stop going. I bet you didn't sleep much that night.
Yeah, I was definitely excited. I was disappointed on fouling out, but I was definitely excited.
Right. Now, Jen, before I get to your special moment, I wanted to ask you some of the players on this team because listen, you girls are not 20-1 right now by accident. It's a whole team that makes it work. And there's so many players that contribute to this team. Just talk to me about some of the members on this team.
I feel like we know what we have to get done. We know like if one person's down, we have to get them up. Like we know to stay together and work together to get to where we are now.
Right. And who are some of the, like, just talk to me about some of the key players of this team besides you two. I mean, because, you know, they've really stepped up this year in a big way.
We have Darnasia and Molly, which are our posts. They do a lot of work down there. Zoe, she's been hitting her threes really good, and Brianna could shoot too. So it all helps that we have shooters and post players that could play both.
Right. And Weston, how important has it been? Because you and Jen have really taken on this leadership role so well. I mean, the last couple of years especially. Just talk about how important it's been, though, to play with all these girls and to be successful like you have been.
It's definitely so important, the team chemistry and the bond that we all share. I think it's one thing we really stress is that everybody has a job, and with everybody, when they do their job that night is when we handle business. So the 20-1 season is, again, like you said, not by accident. We have everybody who handles their job, and Jennifer and I, while leading the team, we also know we have our role to play. So I think that's very helpful when you have 5 people on the court at one time that all have the same goal and that everybody's trying to contribute the same amount of effort. And if somebody can't that night, somebody else will pick it up for them. So I think that's what makes us really special.
Absolutely. Now, Weston, I talked about Coach Cook. She obviously stepped down at the end of last season, and you have a new coach that came on the team this year, and she had an outstanding career at Amity High School. So tell us a little bit about the new coach that came in. I know she's done a tremendous job.
Yeah, Coach Haley. She's been great. Again, like we said before, it's very important to have a female staff member. So for every need, you just go to her. If you need to talk after practice, if you had a bad game, you need to talk about a certain play. She definitely is one of the nicer ones on the staff, so she'll break it down for you, but she doesn't have to be as serious as a role that Coach Vince has to play. So she definitely knows her role, and she helps us all out as much as any other coach would.
And one of the things this is why I really think so highly of Coach Della Volpe, because he will let his assistants take over a little bit in practice, and he will let Coach Haley kind of take over a drill and go over it and explain it or correct it if something's going wrong. And she does a tremendous job with that. And sometimes less is more. She's not that type of coach that's going to yell, but she could teach just as good as anybody. And she's really been invaluable to this team this year.
Yes, definitely. She's helped out a lot.
Right. So girls, Jen, we're going to get to you, I promise. But first, I want to talk about the Holy Cross game because that was a tremendous win. It was the first time, I believe, since 1992 that the Ansonia Girls basketball team had a win over Holy Cross. And if you want to know how long ago that was, I was a sophomore in high school. So that was a very long time ago. But one of the things that I've always, and I was telling Coach Leno this earlier today when we were talking, one of the things about this team is teams will go on runs against them. You girls will bend a little bit, but you never break. And the Holy Cross game, I remember specifically, you girls were up maybe at one point by 15 or 16 points. They made their run, but you girls know how to finish games. You know how to win. So talk to me about that Holy Cross game and how special that was for all of you.
It was really special to us because, like you said, we have not beat them in so long, but we knew what we had to do. And listening to Coach Vince, like being down, like you said, when they had that like 15-point run, we were really nervous, but we knew like we had to finish it off and what we had to do.
Right, exactly. And, Weston, one of the things about Coach Vince, and like anything else, he can be tough on you girls in practice. He can be tough on you girls in the game. But anytime, the game is over, win or lose, he's right there to congratulate you. And when you girls win big games, he gets pumped, and not for himself. He gets pumped for you girls. So you know that all the yelling and anything else, the critiquing, it's never personal. He's just trying to make you better basketball players. And I think that's something that you girls have always seen throughout your 4 years, that he truly does appreciate you as not only basketball players, but individuals as well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we know it's always love from him. And honestly, sometimes we tell him to yell at us more. He tries to be gentle with us, but we do know when we make mistakes and we need to practice harder. So we appreciate that tough love because it's what helps us get things done. And it helps us work harder during the game and focus more. So we don't mind it. We know it's tough love, and we appreciate that he's able to celebrate our wins and he's able to focus in on our losses.
Right. Now, Jen, early in the season, the girls lost a close game to Seymour. I think they beat you by 7 or 8 points. And then at the end of the year, in a tremendous night in Ansonia, you girls got a hard-fought victory against them. And listen, I mean, the two teams all year that have really been right there have been Ansonia and Seymour. Just talk about what that night was like for you, being able to knock them off, because at that point, they were undefeated in the league. They had a loss, but they had not lost in the league yet. Talk about what that moment was like.
It felt really good. We knew we wanted it back, especially because of how the last game was. So we had a hard practice the day before, and we just really knew we needed to stay together, work as a team, use that extra pass and everything to win that game.
Right. And one of the things, Jen, that Coach Della Volpe has always stressed is defense. And you girls just do a tremendous job defensively. I mean, some of the games I see, you girls maybe give up 40 points a game, which is hard to do. And now in today's basketball world, I mean, teams are scoring in the 60s, 70s. So the defensive aspect of it is really something that your coaching staff preaches a lot to. And talk to me how important it is that he's a defensive coach first before anything else.
Oh, me, sorry. I think it really helps because, like, if one person has an off night for shooting, they know, like, they can make up for it on defense. So I think it really, like, being a defensive coach, too, also helps a lot.
Right. No doubt about it. Now, Jen, we're going to get to the 1,000-point, but I wanted to ask you first, what was the feeling like for you when Weston achieved her goal that night and got to 1,000 points? Because like anything else, you two have played together, like you said, since fourth grade or second grade, whatever it was. And to see her get to her 1,000-point when you've played with her for so long, what was that feeling like for you?
I was really excited for her, knowing that we've played basketball for a while now together, and then knowing that I could hit mine too. I feel like it was really like meant to be since we've grown up playing together. We know how each other play. We like are in the game together like that.
Right. So now, Jen, take me back to the night for you, because at the time, I know it was there was at one point, I think you needed 100 points to get it. And I think there were maybe 5 games left. And that's not easy to do because you play on a team with so many kids who could score that it's hard to score 30 points a game. So you have to hope you get your points when you get them, but it's not easy. So talk to me, number one, about getting to the moment to reach that goal. And number two, what that moment was like when you got there.
Getting there, it felt like an accomplishment. I mean, going into the season, I was told that I was 289 points away. So that really made me like a little bit nervous. Like you said, I had 100 and something left with only 5 games. So I was trying to not think about it too much, but play my game, and it ended up going well. I mean, it was really exciting, but I was really nervous. I was not going to make it.
Right. And just talk to me about when you made it that night. And the good thing was, too, Jen, is you only needed 4 points. I mean, if you had to go into that game and you needed, say, 15 to 18 points, that's like a little pressure you have to put on yourself. And you're trying to win the game. So it's hard to think about yourself when you're trying to win the game. So just talk to me about what the feeling was like when you hit the shot, you got recognized. What was that moment like for you?
It was really exciting. Like you said, being 4 points away, I knew like I didn't have to rush it. I could play my game because, like you said, we needed to win the game against Oxford. So it was kind of relaxing knowing that I could hit it, but I was more focused on winning the game.
Right. And Weston, I asked Jen this a few minutes ago, so I'll ask you now. What was the feeling like for you when Jen reached that goal? Because you two have been playing together, and I've got to really look it up and see. But I don't know when the last time two teammates scored 1,000 points in the same season. So talk about what that moment was like, because you got to do that with Jen, and that had to be special.
It was really exciting. When she started running back to everybody, I almost saw like little Jen when we were in fourth grade. We could barely reach the rim on a layup. So just seeing her get that accomplishment, and especially doing it in the same season, I thought that was such a cool stat for us to both have, and such a personal goal that is a huge accomplishment to hit. So I was definitely very excited for her. And I was very excited that she was able to get it in such an important game that we knew we had to finish. So that day, that win was for her.
Right. And girls, I think that's probably the best part about all of this, that you both got to achieve this year, because you are having a historic season for Ansonia girls basketball. Like I said, I was talking to Coach Leno, and I think the last time Ansonia girls started a season 20-1 was 1984. Well, guess what, girls? That was Coach Leno's senior year of high school. So now you're doing it your senior year of high school. And this was done 42 years ago. So this is the best season Ansonia girls have had since 1984. Just talk to me about this season, girls, because never in your wildest dreams, I think, could you ever envision that you'd be part of a team with 20 wins. So talk about that a little bit.
It's a really exciting accomplishment. I mean, obviously it always feels good to win. So just being able to continue it when we didn't know what this season, how it was going to play out for us. So hearing that it was 40 something years ago is honestly crazy. And it's just exciting to be a part of.
Especially
Right.
making it like it being our last season,
Yeah.
making it our best season feels really good.
Right. And girls, one of the things that you also did, and I mentioned 1992, the last time you beat Holy Cross, but you also beat them at Holy Cross, and you beat them twice this year. So to me, the 20-win season, the 1,000 points, the beating Holy Cross twice in the same season, I mean, these are things that hadn't happened in a long time for Ansonia girls basketball. So, I mean, there really has to be a sense of pride for both of you.
Yeah, definitely. And we've had such a great student section all year, and so many people have been coming to our games. So that also feels good, knowing that people are proud of us and people enjoy watching us play. So it's kind of a full circle moment.
Right. It really is. And I mean, tell me this, girls. Talk to me a little bit about, and I mentioned it earlier, so I know I sound like a broken record, but talk to me a little bit about the bond that you both have, because it's coming to an end soon. I mean, no matter what happens, this season's going to end at least in 2 or 3 weeks for both of you. Your careers are going to end at Ansonia High, and chances are you're not going to play together anymore. So just talk about how special that bond has been for both of you.
I feel like the bond has been really special, especially since fourth grade. Growing up playing basketball, like soccer too, and when I did softball for 2 years, we like know how each other play, so it helps a lot. Like we know how to get each other the ball, their next move, like it helps us a lot, our bond.
Right. No doubt about it. And I think about this too, girls. I mean, Weston, we were talking about your dad playing, your sisters, things like that. It's got to be special to share all these moments with your family. And Jen, same thing. You get to share it with your family. I know you have like a few siblings. So it's something that you both get to do with your families. And I think that's special too.
Yeah, it definitely feels good.
Yeah.
Especially having a lot of family that came from Ansonia. My grandparents all went to Ansonia High School. My dad, my uncles, my aunts, everybody played my mom at Ansonia High School. So that's kind of cool knowing there's a little history behind everything that I do.
Right. And Weston, let me ask you, I don't know if it's a rule or whatnot, but has your dad ever been able to ref any of your games, or is that not allowed because you
No,
play?
he can't. He's reffed a boys game, but not us girls because we play, yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing too, Weston, is to be a good official, you have to know the game of basketball. So it's always good when you have somebody who can teach you as a young kid the basics and things like that. And I know he's been very helpful with that.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Right. Jen, let me ask you this. You've had so many accomplishments, but another accomplishment you obtained this year is you did make first team all MVL again, and made it back-to-back years, which is something that's very hard to do. How gratifying was that for you?
It's really exciting. Like I'm happy for it. I work really hard, so it just feels like a good accomplishment getting at the end of the day.
Right. And now, Weston, the same could be said for you because you made it a second time, first team. That's not easy to do. I think most people would say, let me make it once, and I feel like I really accomplished something, which they should because it is hard to do. But to make it twice sometimes seems like it's a tough goal to reach, but you made that happen. So just talk about how special that was for you when Coach Delavopi told you made it.
It feels great. You do think a little bit of how your hard work paid off, and it is very rewarding, but it's not something you think about during the middle of the season because it is up in the air. All the coaches have to vote on it. So you kind of hope that people see your hard work, and that's what is rewarding, knowing that people have noticed that.
Right. And girls, I don't know when the last time Ansonia's had two girls on the all MVL team. Again, I would have to check with Coach Delavopi, but you both made it together. And again, playing together since the fourth grade, all these years of playing together, and listen, like anything else, teammates have bad days. I'm sure like there weren't the best days, like, you go through those ups and downs, but you stick by each other through thick and thin. And for both of you to make it together, that's probably something that will stay with you for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Right. So girls, I know you got a big game Friday. I think it's going to be against Torrington. It's up in Torrington. But I mean, listen, you girls are really 2 games away from doing something special, and that's winning an MVL title. I mean, I know there's nerves, but how excited are you both for this?
So
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
We got to
And I
get through
mean,
Friday.
right. And like anything else, when you start the year, you want to continue playing after game 20. You don't want to just have 20 games and it's done. So the fact that you girls are continuing to play and you've extended your season as well as your high school careers, it's got to be awesome. And I mean, these are the times too, I mentioned to you earlier, Weston, did you sleep that night? But this has probably been a week of excitement. Obviously the snow has interfered, but I'm sure like getting to this moment is something that you're both very excited about and, something that you're very anxious to get going with too.
Yeah. And like you said, the snow has made it even more an anxious process because the games are getting switched. So it's what day do you have practice? What time can you get into the gym? So this has definitely been a roller coaster, but it is exciting time of year.
Right. So Jen, let me ask you this, and then Weston, you could answer it as well. Is there ever a goal? Obviously, you two want to continue to play after your high school careers, but is there ever a goal that you two would get into coaching? Because I think you both would make great coaches. I really think that you have a lot to offer to programs, no matter where it is, whether it's at, a school like Assumption, that's for grammar school, whatever it is, you both have a lot to offer. Is that something you both have thought about?
Yeah, I have thought about it. I do think I would want to be a coach, like you said, for like grammar or even maybe work my way up to being a high school coach.
Right. And Weston, is the same thing for you, I'm assuming?
Yeah, definitely. After watching my parents kind of coach us and walk us through that process, I know I enjoyed it. So I hope one day I could either do that for my kids or even just get involved in the town I'm in and just do that for other kids, because I know how important it is to have such a good coach and a good role model.
Right. And again, you both have had outstanding soccer careers. Would you ever consider coaching soccer as well? Is that something you thought about too?
Probably, Jen. I don't know if I would be good at that.
Yeah, it is a possibility.
Right. So, girls, I want to ask you this. Again, you've had great coaches throughout your 4 years, throughout your playing career in general. But really, I mean, Coach Delavolpe, he's been there through everything. And this is coming to an end. So, Jen, I'll start with you. What would you say to Coach Delavolpe? I mean, if you get this chance to thank him, sometimes it's hard to thank them in person, but, you get like the nerves and things like that. But if you had to thank him, what would you say to him?
I would thank him for being like such a hard coach on us. Because, like Weston said earlier, like him being hard on us, it helps us. I personally don't get mad at it. I feel like it helps me better. He's always been there, and he's always pushed us to be where we are now. So I would just thank him a lot for that.
Right. And Weston, what would you say to Coach Delavolpe? I mean, if you're able to thank him and say anything, what would you say?
Honestly, I would just thank him for being there, for showing up every day. We're definitely not the easiest group of girls to work with. Sometimes we do get on his nerves. So him being able to crack jokes with us and also be hard on us at the same time. He always has good life lessons. He's always telling us stories. So he definitely does more than just be a basketball coach. And that's something I would thank him for.
Right. Well, girls, this was a lot of fun today. First off, congratulations to both of you, because you've
Thank
done
you.
something that, is in a small group. I mean, it's not an easy accomplishment to achieve, and you both achieved it. So congratulations on that accomplishment, because
Thank
it
you.
really is a remarkable achievement. Also, congratulations on what has been a historic season. It really has. And I hope the best is still yet to come. I hope you girls win this entire thing, because this group deserves it. They are wonderful kids, wonderful coaches. So I really am rooting for you all to do this. And I wish you the best of luck. But thank you so much for giving me some time today. And just thank you for not only being great high school athletes, but outstanding individuals as well. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having
Thank you.
us.
No problem. And there you have it, folks. You got to meet two extraordinary human beings the last hour. And what they've done in their high school careers is remarkable. It's unbelievable, amazing. We could use so many adjectives. But I think the thing that's most important is they care about the team first more than anything else. Their individual goals are always kind of secondary to them. If they get them, they feel great. But having a successful program is what they always strive to do. These girls have worked hard throughout their lives to be where they are today. They've put in so many hours of hard work, and you could see it's all paid off. When you look at tremendous basketball players in high school sports, you really have to also mention Jennifer Palmer and Weston Ahearn. For In the Spotlight, I'm Mike Kenichi saying good night, everyone.